Let's talk about, the jaw-dropping moment, the first one, about the color of the baby's skin. Yeah. And you asked Harry about it when he came out. He did not tell you who it was. Did you all have another conversation about it? Because that was something that there's a big guessing game all around the world. Who was it? Who was it? Who was it? And I thought it was very touching that Harry still is choosing to protect the identity of whoever that was.
Yes, and he did not share the identity with me, but he wanted to make sure that I knew, and if I had an opportunity to share it, that it was not his grandmother nor his grandfather. Did you leave?
What the fuck?
Leave the country because of racism?
It was a large part of it. One of the people at that dinner said to me, "Please don't do this with the media. They will just
what? How?
Will destroy your life." But unfortunately, if the source of information is inherently corrupt or racist or biased, then that filters out to the rest of society.
If they can compare what the experience that I went through was similar to what has been shared with us. Kate was called Waity Katie, waiting to marry William. While I imagine that was really hard.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Comfortably say we've all had to deal with things that are rude. Rude and racist are not the same.
After my grandmother had said, the moment you land, come up to...
We asked if we could go up to see her.
Come up to Sandringham. We'd love to have a chat. Come for tea. And why don't you stay for dinner? Because it's going to be a long drive and you're going to be exhausted.
She even said stay the night.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
The moment we landed in the UK, I got a message from my private secretary, Fiona, at the time.
Private secretary is sort of like a CEO role in the institution.
Cutting and pasting a message from the Queen's private secretary basically saying, please pass on to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex that he cannot come to Norfolk. The Queen is busy. She's busy all week.
After she just invited you?
Yeah. Just invited me. The Queen's busy. She's busy all week. Do not come up here. No, when you're head of the firm, there is people around you that give you advice.
Okay.
Boom! And what has also made me really sad is some of that advice has been really bad.
If in your own office or in your own family, somebody is saying things about you that are not true and how hurtful that is, or if you're online, or if you're online and you read the comments from something that somebody has said about you and you continue to see those comments, how hurtful that is. So imagine that for over a period of months and years, and you know that it isn't true.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Magazine. And that when she saw it, someone came out from the cast who was from South Africa, and told her that basically when she married Prince Harry, it was as big in South Africa as when Nelson Mandela was freed. Okay.
Got it.
So already it says a lot about Meghan. Like, okay, so I'm thinking, all right, the fact that she would choose that anecdote to relay to New York Magazine, essentially the cut, as indicative of her press and how people feel about her.
Come on now, dog.
Of her press and how people feel about her is totally tone deaf, and her head is in the clouds, because people have said crazy nice things to me and they've said crazy mean things to me, and I would never repeat them to a reporter as indicative of what my press is or how people really feel about me, right? So
wait a minute. Who are
feel about me, right? So the fact that she plucked that one to say this is what I mean to the people tells you a lot about Meghan Markle. But now we find out it appears to have been a lie.
You don't say.
Oh, Lord. Again.
You don't say.
Maureen, the Daily Mail, and God bless the Daily Mail for going and doing this. They went and found all of the actors who were in that live version of The Lion King. And they found the one guy who was from South Africa.
See what nonsense is in store for today.
South Africa, as Meghan claims, the person who said this to her was in the cast and from South Africa. Okay, and I'm going to read it to you. An acclaimed actor and friend of Nelson Mandela today told Daily Mail he's baffled by her suggestions that the country had rejoiced when she married Prince Harry, and revealed he's never met her, despite claiming to be the only South African member of the cast in Disney's remake of The Lion King. All right, so his name is he's gone on the record. His name is Dr. John Kani, Kani. He believes the Duchess of Sussex has made a, quote, faux pas after she used a U.S. magazine interview to imply that her royal wedding sparked celebrations in South Africa, reminiscent of the release of his friend Nelson Mandela, the legendary anti-apartheid leader. He said Mr. Mandela's walk to freedom after 27 years was a landmark moment, while her marriage was a landmark moment, while her marriage to Prince Harry was no big deal in South Africa, adding that the two events, quote, cannot be spoken of in the same breath, and you can't really even say where you were when Meghan married Harry. She, of course, had gone on, blah, blah, blah. Oh, here's her quote. Oh, here's her quote. I just need you to know, he allegedly looked at me and said, I just need you to know when you married into this family. We rejoiced in the streets, the same as we did when Mandela was freed from prison. But Dr. Kani, a veteran of the Royal Shakespeare Company who voiced the mandrill shaman Rafiki, told DailyMail.com he was the only South African in the production. He's never met Meghan. He was not at the UK premiere. And he said the only other South African who was involved was Lebo M, a composer who was responsible for the music, but he was not in the cast. Anyway, Maureen, it appears to be completely made up.
Oh, I feel as though everyone aside from Meghan Markle has realized that
Stop the cap.
Meghan Markle is now firmly in camp territory. To compare yourself, a minor royal who worked for, I think, 18 months, maybe, to Nelson Mandela. I mean, I said in the column, it's clear she has no friends left. It's clear that there is no publicist or crisis manager of repute who would work with her. It made me laugh out. It made me laugh out loud, but also it was jaw-dropping and offensive, and narcissistic isn't a big enough word. But she keeps giving us, like, this is the content she's providing. She doesn't realize it's comic relief.
Right, we're not admiring her. She
No.
doesn't understand. And then when we don't admire her, she gets confused, like I'm being misrepresented again, as opposed
See what nonsense is in store for today.